The year is coming to an end, and so is our very first season of ArtnAbout Ug.
That's right, Maria. On this closing episode, we'll be diving into the world of Louise Deininger. Louise is exhibiting the Public Skies exhibition, and this exhibition is thought-provoking and leaves you thinking and wondering.
Visually and, mentally stimulating. She uses elephant dung, she uses kitengi, she's using cowrie shells, Ugandan tea bags, and she's taking these objects and using them to tell very personal stories through her art.
Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this one. It's going to get you thinking about your trash and your heirlooms in a different light, so don't miss it.
Let's ArtnAbout. We are here with Louise D. And we are back at Xenson Artspace one more time. So this is is this an inaugural, like you've been doing? No, it's not.
This is our first solo, right?
First solo in Uganda. So in Uganda means that, you've like moved around quite some time. That's, we have a really big shot with us today. So thank you for being on our podcast.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah. So we're here because of this exhibition. I mean, aside from your exceptional work, we're also here particularly to, give our viewers a sneak into your exhibition, Public Skies. It seems like a spiritual, like a deep dive into spirituality and this kind of thing. Was there a particular moment for you that made you want to work on this project, or was it like, has it been like a slow burn? Has it been growing?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you very much for inviting me to your podcast and for being curious about my work.
Yeah.
I also want to thank your audience for listening to me. Well, that's a very good question that you asked me about this exhibition. I always wanted to do something regarding family. And of course, this comes with scars. This comes with told and untold truths. And so, having been born here in Uganda, being born in Jinja and having family here, raised in Kenya and the UK, it was important for me, and having had exhibitions, especially in Europe, in Austria, and in the US as well, most recently in Ghana, I thought it would be best to have a show, back home. And so it was important for me to start with the story. And who else's story would I rather start with than with the story of my father and his journey, including the journey of my people, the tribe, or how can I say? So it's all about, about
a community,
cultural identity, our own identities, and like I said, exactly, truths that are told and truths that are untold. It's also unpacking our consciousness. It's also unpacking a lot of spirituality. And again, identity is very important in this work.
Okay.
Yes.
We've had a brief look around, and all of these materials are very, very true to Uganda. I'm seeing some back cloth. I'm seeing these, what are they? The shakers. And then there is like this, is this paper mache?
It's paper mache. The masks are out of paper mache. And actually the paper mache masks are a silhouette of my parents, of my father and my mother.
Oh.
So from the pictures, we made silhouettes out of them. Yes, it is very personal. So I thought as well that it could have been, or it was important for me. This was also like a dream come true, like tracing back the roots of our forefathers or our ancestors. And I come from a tribe that migrated from South Sudan to Uganda, mainly northern Uganda, the Luo tribe, and south of Uganda, like the Jokadolas, which is part of my clan, and then the Luos in Kenya, and in Tanzania, in Ethiopia as well. So we are in 5 countries. And we believe that the elephant is the one that was leading the way for us. So the elephant is our totem animal. And being our totem animal, like emulating the positive characteristics or the aspects of the elephant, you know, being very strong and yet very gentle and having very good memory.
Just thinking about the memory.
Exactly. And also intelligence. Our people, they pride themselves about their intelligence. So for me, the elephant dung that I use in my work is a metaphor of a people's cultural, political, and social identity, right? Here we call it tenge. However, in Swahili they call it kanga. Yes. And this is what I was carrying as a baby. The chitenge that my mom used, unfortunately she passed away 2 years ago. And so she also is joining in this story. So these are her chitenges. Even old ones that I still remember when I was young. So I decided to include her story into the works. And then you will see the cowrie shells, which also has a spiritual connotation. And it was amazing because I was working from the north, and I actually got the elephant dung from the street that is used by the elephant, from the elephant crossing. So then, you know, and I also mixed the dung with soil from the north. So when I was working in my studio in Gulu, the women were quite intrigued. Like, they were so curious. Why is
I can imagine. Imagine seeing somebody collecting dung from the road.
Especially the cowrie shells, you know. It was like, why is she using the cowrie shells? Because for them, they identified the cowrie shells with something that's that the medicine man would use or the healers would use. And my studio was located whereby there were other widows were working, you know, making crafts and all that. So they got to see the process. And in the end, we involved them in the sense that we had an open studio and an exhibition and explained the works to them. And we ended up also having a session, a ritual. Of letting go.
Do you?
Which was very emotional. So these works have been on a real journey.
That is so cool.
They really do speak of an existence.
So it's like really, really rich. It's a rich, you know, combination of materials because you actually, you know, there's Ugandan tea bags.
Yes.
Where are the tea bags?
So usually, whenever I travel or when I'm working, you know, in artist residencies, I drink a lot of tea. So I use the tea bags on my work, so I don't throw them away. So it's also about sustainability. So the masks out of them.
As soon as you say, wow.
Bags. And this you will find commonly in my works as well.
Listen, I cannot stop being like, I'm fangirling so much.
So for instance, in this case, you know, these are my siblings, 8 children of my mother. And we live in different parts of the world. And so it was for the first time in 30 years when my mother passed on that the 8 of us came together at her funeral. And I still have this in my memory where we all held hands at her grave. So it was also important for me to relive that moment in terms of memory of my mother. So that's why we have the 8 hands of her children, on that piece. So this is about resonance. You know?
I mean, like, your work is really a beautiful use of objects. You connect, you know, families so beautifully with objects, and we can see that from the hands and the what's it, a calabash?
Yes.
The calabash things and the other materials that you've used. But what's the most sentimental item or object would you say that you've used in this exhibition? Is there a particular one that you could? They are, but
Yes,
like unexpected, like what unexpected material do you think have you used?
Well, the process is like this.
Okay.
Before I start with the production, I go about sourcing the material.
Okay.
And so sourcing the material meaning going to the market. I love going to the market. That's my laboratory. That's where I find all unique information, interacting especially with the women. And in this section where I usually shop is where you buy all the herbs and all this traditional instruments and stuff like that.
Like with the shakers.
So when I go to the kiosk, it's always so packed with a lot of things. And so I'm always digging into that inside where, it's not visible to your eyes.
Yeah.
And when that object speaks to me, like exactly what that happened and this happened, and so that's when I get, inspired to bring it into my studio. And then just out of playfulness, it comes out. So each and every object that I work on has its own unique nature.
Okay.
So then it's a matter of exploring the material, trying to see if you can bring out the spiritual from a material.
Yeah. But what's
I don't know whether that
unexpected?
makes sense.
No, it makes sense, but I'm just curious, what's the most unexpected material that you've used? The one that completely surprised you in terms of how it folds, how it like responds to the different things that you apply to it, like maybe paint or the dung. What was the most unexpected? Or what is going to shock us?
Still stuck on the dung.
The dung is shocking, but is there anything aside from the dung that's like, oh my goodness, you cannot believe this is this?
I think it's the musical instruments.
Yeah?
Yes.
So what do these represent anyway? These ones in particular, like
Playfulness, curiosity.
yeah.
I haven't been able to stop looking at them ever since we came in. Like I keep
Gravitating back to them, yeah.
They want you to touch them.
Right?
They really do.
Like it just in fact playfulness, right? Because as a baby you have the shaker and everything, right? Was that what you were aiming for?
That's
with
what
this?
came out. Yes.
Came out?
Yes.
But what about the aim?
Well, as a conceptual artist,
Yes.
I'm always working with ideas, right?
Okay.
And so the idea is the most important aspect of the artwork. And so it always comes from trying, one thing or another. And remember, I go to a lot of exhibitions.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends who are artists. And see a lot of work. So most of the time, of course, this is stored in your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
And then it comes out
Eventually.
into different forms.
Yeah.
So I could answer that as, the work coming from within itself.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That is,
It's
it
beautiful
speaks.
as well, yeah.
Speaks
And
very, very well.
the thing is, like, the more you stay with the exhibition and the more you learn about it through what you're saying, the more it connects with you as well. Because I feel like it's transporting me back to my childhood as well a little bit. But it's beautiful.
A lot of what you've told us so far lets me know that you are about your work. A lot of it is about blending spiritual with physical. So, how do you find the balance between those two? Between those two separate worlds?
Actually,
Spirituality of it,
Yeah, that's a very good question, because apart from the spiritual, my work is about critical thinking too, and consciousness. So finding a balance between the physical, as in what we're surrounded with on a day-to-day basis, and what's intrinsic, as in what is within, comes with a certain type of practice
And awareness.
Yes. So what do I mean by practice? I mean that being, having a sort of discipline whereby every day when I wake up in the morning, I go through a process of deep contemplation.
Okay.
I go through a process of prayer and meditation. So then in that way, I'm able to tap into the inner world, into the subconscious. And such that when I go, through the day-to-day experience in life, that is still an integral part of me, which seeps into the work that I do.
Okay. Yeah. So you live everything, you feel everything. During your meditation, you're literally opening yourself up to what the day holds.
It's like tapping into a channel that's there.
During meditation, I can say the experience is something that cannot be explained in words.
Okay.
It's like you're trying to explain God. When you describe me, you negate me.
That makes sense.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That is absolutely perfect. And in fact, even us standing within this little kind of
Installation.
and the netting and it feels very ephemeral. It's like
It's very sacred, like a
It's supposed to
sanctuary.
represent a shrine, actually.
oh
Yes.
the thing is, yes, I was about to say something along those lines, but then I was like, ooh.
Yeah. No, but it does though. It feels like it canvases, like a safe space-ish, or like a place where.
Runs over you. And,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the viewers are actually invited to sit in here and write something.
Okay.
And of course, you're also free to interact with the piece, like putting your hands exactly what you were doing.
Do these
see if
hands
it
represent
fits.
anything?
These are the hands of my family members, all of them.
The exact hand.
Yes,
Oh, they actually
yes, I
named.
traced, yes, so you can see they have names in them.
Wow.
And like I told you, we live in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So when I got the opportunity to take, to
Get some prints.
get prints of their hands,
Yeah.
then I used them. So they are also
I
a part of
think
this.
is your family used to you being this kind of person, like, hey guys, I just
I
need your
miss
hand.
you.
Yes, yeah. Finally get together, let's sit down and trace your hands. Yeah, so it's an interactive piece.
Yeah.
So then the viewers are invited to write in this.
What they feel.
Anything, yes. And there's an instruction over there.
Okay.
And after writing, it's like a donation, yes? So you put it in that bag. So,
perfect.
yeah, and then you put what you've written in the bag. Please.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, when the show ends, we're definitely going to archive. You don't need to write your name or anything, yes? But just sharing with us your feelings and all. And then after the exhibition, we're going to archive the material, and then we will take the notes, the physical ones, and burn them. So it's like letting go.
Okay, I'm definitely going to make it something really powerful.
Yeah. And that's what we did with the women when we had the session.
It's like a spell.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like a spell.
You've lived in different parts of the world. You mentioned Ginger.
No, I was born in Ginger.
Are you born in, but you didn't live there?
No, raised in, lived there until 3, then raised in Kenya.
Okay, raised in Kenya,
London, UK, and now I live in Austria and northern Uganda.
Yeah. We actually met in Vienna. But how has this hopping through different cultures shaped your idea of home? Because I mean, like, you've lived in quite a few places.
I think like it would be a bit jarring to have to keep moving. So yeah.
Well, I started moving when I was 12 years of age.
Okay.
And so that meant that I had to find a home. And there was no other home that I could find apart from the home within. So
It's poetic.
yes,
It's beautiful though.
so I made sure that I am home where I am.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? That means that when I'm somewhere, I am there. being present at that particular place when I'm there. For example, when I'm here in Kampala, I'm in Kampala.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is home at that moment.
That's home at that particular time and moment.
Yeah.
However, that doesn't mean that I don't have my favorite place. And my favorite place is Gulu.
Yeah.
So when I'm in Gulu, I'm home.
Yeah.
Yes, with my people.
Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. And it also gets you to think again. I feel like this exhibition, it's deeper than just looks, right? Deeper than just the art. And when you think about it, when you think about the themes underlying, it makes you think like this idea of home. It's so beautiful that we have to find home. Home has to be within you first before you pick a favorite place, like you say. It's very strong and powerful.
Because that means that it's not physical.
Home is not a place.
Yeah, it's not a place. It's
a space.
It's a space that you created, and it's much more powerful. That it cannot be just taken away from you.
No, no matter where you are, it's within you.
Yeah. Your choice to exhibit here instead of Vienna feels like a full circle moment. Was there anything that influenced you and influenced you to put your first solo exhibition
in Kampala? Well, I can say it's more of a wish or a desire and an intention to showcase in Kampala, because I consider this to be home as well, since I've got family here.
Yeah.
And also I have a project in the north of Uganda where I work with young people who have been affected by armed conflict. Working on positive mindset change so that they can unlock their full potential. And so I live between Vienna and northern Uganda, Gulu. And my dream or big wish or the big goal is to build an art and education academy, which means that having a hub where all the creatives and artistic expression comes out of. And what's the best way than to start establishing myself here in Uganda as an artist, somebody who also partly lives here. And since the Kampala art scene is quite vibrant, I always had the desire to be a part of that art scene. So I've worked with Dorothy before from Xenson Gallery, and she represented me at Spark Fair in Vienna, an international Spark Fair, an international fair, and we had great success. And so she offered me to show in her space, since we are partners and business partners, and we get along very well. So it was humbling for her to offer me, the space to showcase. I don't know if this answers your question.
Yeah, it does very well.
So, Louise, we've been talking about your art and the different objects that you've used, and your art pieces also include objects from different cultures, not just cultures that you're familiar with or part of, but also different cultures. Does it feel like a treasure hunt when you're getting this? Because you mentioned you like going to the market. You like going to the market, and there's always different unexpected pieces, and some in places where people don't normally look. So does it feel like a treasure hunt for you?
It does.
Yeah.
It does, and it is.
Yeah.
It is a treasure hunt. Yeah, and since I explore materiality, right?
Yeah.
It's always quite intriguing to see what comes out of it. However, at the end of the day, it always has to have a certain symbolic meaning or metaphor.
You're not just speaking.
Yes. For example, the back, that's used by the Baganda, and it was also used. It's used for covering the
dead.
For the dead.
Oh, the back cloth.
The back cloth.
Yeah.
Right. So it has this traditional and also cultural meaning and metaphors. So for me, that would mean the twin law of life, which is also there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah. And for example, like, the lace here, what does the lace, I mean, it's beautiful.
That's a very good question.
I mean, the materials are unexpected, but also your use of them is very unexpected.
Yeah.
Right?
Sometimes you see something and it's ornamental.
Yeah.
But then like she is infusing so much meaning into her stuff. I feel like she wouldn't just
dump it there.
So the lace is also about memory. When you look at the lace, it always takes you back to the way our grandmothers used to crochet.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing that back into the conversation.
I actually immediately thought of, when you say grandmothers and lace, the old style chairs.
Yeah.
Like what we used to hang on the back of the chair.
Yes, and on the table as well.
Listen, I thought you were going to leave me hanging. You were looking at me like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about.
I hear. No, but yeah, it's okay,
it was a style.
It was a style. But I mean, you brought it back so beautifully. It's kind of like, with the eyes, it almost feels masquerading. Right?
I really like it because if you see listen, I'm just a big fan of your arts, and I hope guys can appreciate. Actually, people are already here and parking and filling the seats. So I think they're
already feeling
they
it.
already
know what's up.
So it's really, really perfect.
It's
and
beautiful.
It has this blend of familiar materials and prints. So you look at it and you're like,
I can relate. But what about the colors though? Because I mean, obviously blue is my favorite color, and I see a lot of it here. I'm going to ask about blue only, but the colors in general. Is there a particular reason why you've chosen these colors?
Yes. The blue
palette.
Yes, the blue is for imagination and vision.
I have so much vision.
And mood.
And mood as well.
Yes, yes. And the green, my meaning would be maybe totally different from your meaning.
Okay.
So that's the meaning that I've attached to it.
Okay.
And then red for fire, and red for root chakra, in the sense of security. Green for nature. Yeah. And also the energy that's within the heart area. Yeah. The energy of love for self and for the other. And then the purple is the energy above the crown area, which is divine power. Yeah.
Like some sort of aura.
Yes, and also the blessing from our ancestors.
It's so beautiful.
Very, very beautiful.
And then the turquoise that you see in the lines is within the throat area, like our own authentic voice within the throat. So I used turquoise color to signify that. And then the orange is for the creativity. Okay. So creativity, your gut. And we artists, that area is very important for us.
So you are a coach as well?
Yes.
And an educator?
Not educator.
Just
as a leadership coach.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm an author. I've written a book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's you're wearing very many hats, and that is curious for me because as a creative, you need time to invest in your art. How do you juggle all these roles that you're taking on?
All the hats that you're wearing.
Yeah. Does it take a toll?
Well, art is what I do. Art is what I live. Art is what I be. So
you are art.
Hello.
Yes. Yes. So every other thing that I do is within the artistic creation. For example, when I'm working with my coachees, most of them are mainly artists.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's something that I don't do full time. When I'm approached by someone and they need my support, so I support them through their journey. Yes. However, art takes up almost my entire time.
It is.
Yes. It is me.
Yeah.
So
As me.
art is the main thing, and then anything that else that is like a,
Yeah.
as a second seat.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's how most people would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you definitely need to invest time to like think about the ideas.
And also to build your craft as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And of course, all this took time.
Yeah.
I remember when we met in Vienna,
Yeah.
I was working with young people, right?
Yes.
And
In the diaspora.
in
yeah.
the diaspora as well, you know.
Yeah.
So going full time as an artist, it took years
Yeah.
to kind of find that balance
Yeah,
whereby
because, yeah,
you're
I see
committed to your craft full time.
'Cause
Yeah,
it's
it
not
took
always
years to get
lucrative,
there.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
It's
good.
not, it's not always like, you're going to be a successful artist.
Yeah.
I mean, there is the famous stereotype, starving artists, you know.
Yeah. No, but okay, like just a little bit. If we could just go back a little bit to the coaching and the mentoring. So do you do it only in Gulu, or are you doing it in Vienna and other parts of the world as well?
Mainly where I am.
Okay.
Where
So
I
wherever
am.
you are.
Yeah,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes,
Like
yes.
home.
Yeah. And these days, we have internet.
Internet,
So you
yeah.
can do sessions online as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anybody can join, and it's like
Anyone can approach.
yeah.
What's that?
Like
Can
how does one get to like be a part of the coaching?
You approach me, I get approached.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyone can approach you.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
we're
then,
just
of course,
asking for the
yeah,
people who are watching.
Yes.
if they're
So
interested.
you approach me, and then of course I send you a questionnaire.
Yeah.
Why would you want me to be your coach?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just
Yeah.
Yeah. Come and let's be.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful.
Okay.
Okay. So
let's,
we'll just. Yeah. Your art pieces are evoking a lot of themes such as, self-leadership, self-reflection. But I mean, and they're quite unique. Like this piece is quite unique. I don't know if I'm allowed to touch, but I'll touch gently. It's quite unique. So what do you hope that the viewer, what do you hope the art strikes within the viewer? Am I saying that right?
Curiosity,
Yeah.
first of all.
Yeah.
And also an interest, like what did the artist mean? So
Yeah.
asking questions
Yeah.
of what you see and what you do not see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's for me is something that would be intriguing.
Curiosity.
Asking
Yeah.
the seen and the unseen. And
Yeah.
what was the idea behind all this?
Yeah.
And what would you make out of this when you see a piece like this? And most importantly, what emotions are showing up for you
Yeah.
when you interact with a piece like this?
So what is this space? What about this space? Can you give us
It's a
little bit?
calabash.
Okay.
Grammar.
Grandma.
Oh, grandma. Yeah. Back to the grandma thing.
This is literally it.
The back cloth.
Yeah, the back cloth. Yeah.
Music, because this is used as a musical
Yeah,
instrument.
instrument.
Apart from its functionality,
Yeah.
of course it has its stories and its metaphors.
Yeah.
There's the elephant dung as well,
Wow.
and also the cowries
It's beautiful.
and the rope.
And the rope, it's like
Yeah.
a cord, a string that binds.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. It's about letting go.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The bind, the strings that bind.
Okay,
us.
so this is deliberate.
Yes, it's conceptual work. Yes.
Beautiful.
If
Yes.
somebody took it to put it in their space, they would take it like this.
Yeah.
It is
It's
a
a
whole thing.
complete piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much, Louise.
Thank
you so
you.
much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah.
We could go on talking forever, but
Saula.
And that wraps up our episode today with the brilliant Louise Deininger. Her art reminds us of the connection between the art, ourselves, and each other, and also the unseen.
and if you're in Kampala or planning to be, you don't want to miss this. Trust me, it is an experience that you want to take in visually, physically, and let it transport you to the spiritual.
That's right, Maria. And if you do get a chance to see this exhibition, and let us know how you feel. Let us know how it made you feel.
Yeah,
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe, like we always say.
yeah. Come for the art.
Stay for the story.
Bye.